It's been almost 2 years now that I have been living completely on my own, and even though I did not expect this whatsoever, I feel less lonely than I ever have in my entire life. But it definitely hasn't always been like this, so in today's video I'm going to share with you 10 things that I wish I knew before I moved into this apartment. And the very first one is to really focus on the relationships in my life that nourish me, and to let go of all the energy drainers and, the relationships in my life that drain my energy, that cost me a lot of effort. So throughout the last 2 years, I have let go of a lot of relationships, and new relationships have come into my life, but especially I have strengthened the bond between the relationships in my family. And that also brings me to the second thing, and that is personal development and spirituality, and walking that path and making the decision to heal myself emotionally, mentally, and also physically has been such a good decision and has given me so much strength during this time to move through life here, living alone and having my own space and still enjoying it to the fullest. The third one is to find a job that I love so much, where I look forward to my working shifts. So I've always loved what I do for work, but throughout my time living here, I actually changed employers, I got new clients, and now is a time where I'm so excited to go to work. And this kind of feeling really motivates me or pushes me into setting up a good routine for myself that allows me to physically, do my job with lots of energy. Versus I feel like when I've done like jobs that I didn't enjoy as much, I've always been very careful with like doing things that just weren't in alignment with my values, and where I just felt like I'm kind of wasting my precious life force. But whenever I've done things that I just didn't fully enjoy, it's always been this draining feeling, and always kind of I haven't really had the motivation to set up that really good routine for myself. And now that I have a work that I love so much, I forget about the fact that I, live on my own sometimes. I don't feel lonely. And also, it gives me that sense of belonging, that sense of purpose of I'm waking up, I have something that I'm excited to do. And so finding a work that we enjoy, I think, is the biggest game changer when it comes to living alone. The fourth one is running. Now, even though running has a lot of great benefits for our physical health, the main reason I go on a regular run is for my mental and emotional health. Sure, running is great for heart health, for lung health, for, maintaining a nice physique. But the main reason I do it is for just the incredible mental clarity and good mood, all the endorphins that get released when we go running. I cannot imagine a life without like daily movement, because this is something we all know, but I still wish I had known this when I first moved here, because back then I haven't been as structured and consistent with my routine. It's actually when I moved in here throughout time, that's something that really motivated me to start running regularly, taking good care of my body, taking good care of my routine, how I nourish my body, because I know how closely linked the mental and emotional health and then the way we take care of our body on a physical level are. So when we eat nourishing food, when we eat high vibrational foods, fruits and vegetables that raise our vibration, we're immediately going to feel so much better. And then also when we take care of our body in other ways, doing stretching, doing yoga, if that's something, I really enjoy it, and going on these runs, it releases endorphins, it releases serotonin, and just naturally, without us having to do any inner work, any spiritual practices, we are going to feel 1000% better. So that's why I love my regular runs. And now it has just become so ingrained in my routine that I don't even need any sort of willpower to do it. It's just a no-brainer. Every 2 or 3 days I wake up and I know, okay, it's running day. I don't personally like going running every day because I like giving my body time to recover, and I also like incorporating some strength workouts, which I am actually planning to do like a full week of my workout routine. So if that's something you're interested, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, the fifth one is something that literally just came into my life recently, and that is to embrace silence. Now, I'm not always in silence, but when I first moved here, it was very extreme. I would constantly have some sort of podcast, YouTube video, music running in the background, always like keeping myself entertained and not being able to connect with the own voice in my head, with my own thoughts. And honestly, a little while ago, I realized how destructive that is, because literally what happens when we're constantly stimulating ourselves is that a part in our brain that gets activated when we are in silence, where we are processing all the experiences that we have had through our life, that time part gets numb, it gets suppressed. We're no longer in touch with that part, and thus we're kind of unlearning everything that we have learned throughout our lives, all the experiences we have made. And the thing is, I've been thinking about that at first and was thinking, isn't that also a good thing if you had like a traumatic childhood, or you have experiences that you just don't want to remember, but it's still stored in our body. It's not that it's just gonna be gone when we constantly stimulate ourselves, it's still in our body. So really embracing that silence. For example, when I first moved in here and I would do the cleaning in my house, I would constantly listen to like podcasts and music. And I think it's a nice way to get more motivated about cleaning. But eventually I realized that it was really overwhelming for me, because you still need some sort of focus when you're cleaning, because you need to know, okay, what is the next thing I do? And then I would do so many things at once. I would do the windows while I would also clean the floor. And, it would just be very overwhelming, versus now I just take these moments when I'm cooking some food, when I'm cleaning the house, when I'm cleaning the kitchen or drying the dishes. I just take that time. Not always. I still sometimes consciously choose to put in a podcast, put on a YouTube video and listen to that in the background. But I take a lot of moments where I'm just like observing my thoughts and being in silence, and it's seriously the most healing and beautiful thing ever, because then you can actually appreciate the stimulation. When I then choose to watch a movie, I choose to go on YouTube and watch some videos, I can appreciate it so much more. So yeah, that's something I wish I had known at the beginning, because I felt so overwhelming with cleaning all the time, because I love having a clean space. But yeah, I was doing so many things at once. I haven't had that good of a routine. And that also brings me to the sixth thing, and that is to find some sort of cleaning routine, and have somewhat regular times. Like, I don't have a regular day of the week where I do my cleaning personally, because I don't have a 9-to-5 job where I work like Monday to Friday. So sometimes I work on the weekend, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I have the entire week off, during the week. So it's not as structured, but I have somewhat of a routine. Like every 4 or 5 days, I do something. I don't always do everything at once anymore, but I do something. Swiping the floor, cleaning the bathroom, cleaning all the surfaces from dust. Like, I do these things on a very regular basis, and it usually just takes like 15 minutes or something. I do that in silence now to make it kind of into an active meditation, because I was realizing I do all this meditation, but then I'm just constantly stimulating myself when I do stuff. So why not use these times where I'm actually cleaning to make that into an active meditation? So that's what I'm doing now. I've set up somewhat of a routine where I do things very regularly, and that way they don't pile up so much, where the apartment is so dirty that I need to spend like 2 hours cleaning it. I no longer do that. And yeah, that way it's always super clean, and I love that. Sometimes it almost feels like it's this there's a magic spell in my apartment that just always keeps it clean without me doing it. And then the seventh one is podcasts, YouTube videos, Of course, as I already mentioned in the first point, I have nourishing relationships in my life, and I take care of these relationships. I nourish them, I water them like a plant. It's very important. And then those times that I'm on my own, maybe even sometimes a couple days in a row, I like to listen to a podcast while I'm eating my breakfast. It's a great way to educate myself. It's a great way to learn new things and to also entertain myself a little bit, to stimulate myself a little bit. And yeah, almost feel like I would have breakfast with someone else. So I love listening to a good podcast. And then the 8th thing is to find nourishing hobbies. And as in point 1, let go of all the energy drainers in my life, of all the things I do, but I actually don't really enjoy. Let all of that go and find some hobbies that I really enjoy. So one thing, for example, I used to play the guitar a lot. This is actually just one of my guitars, which is very old, very, very old. And I've realized over time I no longer enjoy doing that. So I've stopped playing the guitar. Now it's just a little decoration in my home. And I started new things. So I've started, taking my YouTube channel a lot more serious. I'm not serious. I wouldn't say I'm serious on here, but just putting more time into that. I've also found that, for example, Instagram used to be a very intensive time and energy drainer. So I no longer have that app installed on my phone. I still upload very occasionally on there. But yeah, my main focus, which really nourishes me and gives me energy, is making these YouTube videos. So I focus more on those things. I started strength training, which is also something I find so much fun, especially when I have some sort of emotion stored, whether that's joy and excitement or whether that's anger towards something. I love strength training because I feel like you can kind of use these feelings and put them into the strength training, and just, yeah, it makes you feel so good. And strength training is also so important. I know this has nothing to do with living alone, but it's so important for bone density for us women. So yeah, strength training, hormonal health, bone density is so important. So I got some resistance bands. I'm no longer going to some sort of gym because I realized that was also an energy drainer. I don't enjoy being in that environment so much. So now I have my resistance bands. When the weather is good, I do it on my balcony. And yeah, so that's a new hobby I picked up. And the 9th one is, I thought when I first moved in here, I just move in here and everything is going to be good and I'll never declutter my home. But now I've actually come to a point where regularly I declutter. Even though I'm already pretty, I would say almost like an extreme minimalist. I don't have that much stuff because I really enjoy the freedom it gives me. But even still, I love decluttering my home regularly, going through the drawers, going through the things I have and seeing what is something I no longer need, or something that, again, is somewhat of an energy drainer that I just feel like just takes up space and mental energy, but I don't actually need it. So I regularly donate stuff, give it away, sell it on some sort of secondhand shop online. And the last thing I would tell myself is to really focus on high vibrational foods and to not be afraid of spending my money on just the most delicious, juicy, nice fruits and vegetables, because fruits and vegetables are literally the highest vibrational foods out there. So when we eat them, food equals mood. We're going to feel so good. And I think that's also one of the biggest reasons why I feel like I am at where I'm at now, not feeling this sense of loneliness while living alone here. Because the food just nourishes me, nourishes my soul on such a deep level. And if you want to know what a day of eating looks like, then check out my vlogs and my What I Eat in a Day playlist that you can access by clicking here. And thank you so much for watching. If you're living alone, I would love to hear about your experiences and things that help you. So drop it in the comments down below. And if you made it to this point of the video, then comment freedom, because living alone, even though I don't see myself living on my own forever, I think this is just a period in my life right now, but I love the freedom that it gives me.